Hello everybody, my name is Kyle Lee, aka Kilo Loco from kiloloco.com, and today we're going to be going over UIView, more specifically animating movement. As you can see, first of all, you might notice that there's no random Kilo Loco along the right side of the screen. So I got a 1080p monitor for you guys so that it looks right. But anyway, we're going to be going over animating, and we're going to be using Xcode 9 beta 2 Swift 4. This is like a really basic beginner project that I think just about anybody should be able to cover, as long as you understand how storyboards work and know very basics of Swift language. And you can find the starter project and the finished project both here at the GitHub location right here. And by the end of the project, what we're going to be going over is how to make these views animate like this, and what's going on, why things pop back, why things stay, and then also a couple of different animations that you can use, why things are going at different times, why this one's repeating, stuff like that. So it's very basic, and I think that it'll help out a couple of people. And once again, if you need the starter project, it is available there on that GitHub. Alright, so I'm going to open up the project, and I will go over what I have done so far in the starter project, if it will open for me. Alright, let's open this bad boy back up. There we go. Alright, so all we got going on right here are just 4 black UI views. They don't do anything special. There's no constraints or nothing like that. They're just 50 by 50 pixels, or 50 by 50. There's nothing special about them, just 4 UI views. You just go down here, get the UI view, drag it up there, bam. Button, no constraints, nothing like that. It just says animate black. That's what's going to be controlling these right here. And then we have 5 different colored ones. The reason I did them colored is so that I could refer specifically to which one's going on. All of these are essentially going to do the same thing. These ones are going to do similar things, but with different features and functionality. So I just want to be able to refer to them, and animate colors, all obviously animating these ones right here. And everything is hooked up. So we got all of our outlets connected. And we have our, actions connected as well. We won't be needing the view did load or the did receive memory warning, so we could just take that on out. At least I don't think we're going to need it, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that we won't need it. Anyways, as you saw from the beginning of this tutorial, all we want to do is just move stuff from this side of the screen to this side of the screen. So let's get an action that does that, and then also an action that can put them back as well. So let's go over here. First thing we'll do is we'll have an action call, or we'll have a function called move. We'll just call it move right. Yeah, makes sense. And then we'll select which view that we want to move, right? So view of type UIView. UIView, and that one will move it right. So all we have to do, all we want to do is we just want to move it over to the right side of the screen, right? So we'll take our view, and we'll grab the center of the view, and what we'll do is we'll just do the X, because we don't want the entire center. We only want the center X to move, right? Not the Y to also move down. So we want to specify the X. And what we'll do is we'll just say from wherever it's at, we'll add 300 to it. And that will move it to the right, 300. So to move left, we just want to do that same exact thing. Move left. Same exact function. So we'll take in a view, UI view. And then we'll grab our view, and we'll say center. Once again, we'll grab the X, and we'll do minus equals 300. So when it goes over to the right, we can also push it back over to the left. So pretty simple, pretty straightforward if you ask me. And nobody asked me. So yeah, so all of these will be using this function, move right, move left. So when it goes over here, then we'll be able to have something call and make it go back to the left so that it could end up back over here. So let's do that. And you could do the same thing with like constraints and stuff like that. If you want to increase the constraint size, you could you know, do it that way, but we're gonna do it this way. Alright, so first thing that we want to do is we want to get each of these black one. Well, let's start off with black one, right? We want to move black one over to the right, and let's just make sure that it's going to work as expected. So what we'll do is we'll do move right, and we'll specify the black view 1 dot black 1. And we'll see what happens. When we hit that, it should move it over to the right 300 pixels. And we'll be doing all of these. We'll be doing it for the black 2, black 3, black 4 as well. And same thing for the colors. But we're going to be using the UI animation so that it looks a little bit sexier, you know? You want it to look a little bit sexy. Just a little bit sassy. See? Bam. Look at, so it moved right. If I do it again, since it's only just doing plus of wherever it's at, it's gonna disappear because it went like over here somewhere. So let's go ahead and clean that back up. And what we'll do is now we'll wrap this in the UIView animate method. So we'll do UIView dot animate with duration. So we want to do this first one. We're gonna go over all the other different animations, which is why we have different blacks. We have blacks 1 through 4, and they're all gonna essentially do the same thing, but we're gonna be using each of those different functions. So let's go ahead and specify a duration first. So let duration, and this is of type double. I want to say time interval is of type double. And we'll just say 0. No, we'll do over like 2 seconds, right? So that you can like watch it happen. It's a more clear animation if I do it this way. Duration. All right, and then for the animation, as you can see, it takes in a function. So if we press enter, that means that we can put any code that we want in here to have it animate that. I mean, only specific things animate, but doing it like this, if we move our move right in here, it'll become part of this animate with duration, and our duration will be over 2 seconds. And we'll see that happen over 2 seconds. It'll do the move right. Oh, this is also a closer, so we have to do self. So let's go ahead and run that. And when it finishes loading, we'll actually see it move to the right side of the screen, and it will do so in a very sassy fashion. Very sassy. Like it's sassy. Woo! Yeah, looking good. All right. So that's all you need to know. If you didn't know how to do that, now you know how to do that. I'm going to go into detail about some of these other ones. Super simple, just like this. But if you are uncomfortable doing this yourself, you can go ahead and follow along. All right, so what I want to do is I want to show you guys all the different animate functions. Keyframes is something different. This is more like animation, like cartoon type animation, like you have several different images that you show. So we're not going to be doing that. We want to just do these regular animations ones. So let's just make our way down. We just use this one, simple, straightforward. As you can see, this one is essentially the same thing, except you see this completion handler, which means that you can do something after it finishes the animation. So if we go ahead and choose that one, it'll look almost exactly the same as this one. We'll pass in our duration, right, which is still 2 seconds. We'll do self.move right, and then instead of black 1, let's do black 2. And then for the completion, we can do enter. Now, I'm not really sure why there's a boolean in there, because this doesn't really get called until the end, and the boolean is that the animation did complete. So I believe that it will ring false if you pause the animation, which we're not going to go over today. But for the most part, you don't really need to do anything. You could put a namespace, or you could just do an underscore right there to clear out the namespace. Or if you guys feel more comfortable, I could do finished, and then you could do it this way, if finished. And then we'll just do self.move left, and we'll pass in that same view, which is our self.black2, right? So you can do it with or without this. If you don't plan on pausing your animations, it shouldn't be a problem. It will always finish and then do that. But if not, then you may get a false. So we'll do it like this for this one, but for the remaining ones, we won't do the finish. We'll just do an underscore. So now we'll see that both of these should move at the same time. The first one will stay on the right since it doesn't have a completion handler. The second black will move over to the right, same time. They should finish at the same time, but will end up back over here. So, oh, sexy. And you can also put another UIView dot animate with, once again, duration. And then we'll just pass in this code right here, and we won't be using the completion handler for this one. We just want to do it like this, like how we had this one essentially, right? So well, I chose the wrong one, so it looks kind of weird. So let's just grab the right one. So we'll choose this one. We'll pass in our duration. We'll do enter. We'll put our self.move left in here, and now it will move back to the left ever so elegantly. It'll be nice and sexy and beautiful and clean and nice and cool, and I like it. So we're not going to be doing the animate back left for the remaining ones, but figured might as well do it for this one. So we'll watch this one go over to the right, this one go back over to the left. Look at that, very super sexy. Now having something reverse is very common. We'll see something like that come on down here when I explain those, but let's keep moving forward with these black ones and get this finished and out of the way. All right, next we have the third type of animate that we can do, which gives us a couple more options. So we'll do UIView dot animate, and we'll grab, is it this one? No, hold on. Yeah, it's this one. So as you can see, once again, we have the duration. Now we have a delay. So this means that we can wait a couple of seconds before we do anything, and then it'll fire the animation. And then we also have options. This is the minimum. This is like the smallest method that you can get with options, and I'll show you what some of those options are. The options we're going to cover a little bit more in detail with the colors, but yeah. Okay, so let's pass in our duration, right? The delay, we don't have a delay yet, so let delay equal, and remember these are doubles. No. Double. It's probably a way that you say double somewhere in the world, I'm sure of it. Double. And then let's say we want to wait 1 second. So we'll pass in our delay. Options, you'll notice that with UIView animation options, you could pass in several in an array way. You could pass in none like this, or you could pass in several. You can see all these different ones that you can choose from. Right now we're going to just do curved linear, which is essentially similar to what we've been doing so far. This just means that curve linear is going to be what we specify the animation type to be, and it's going to animate. It's going to be pretty much the same throughout the entire animation, as you can see. So it occurs evenly. That's the word that I was looking for. Evenly throughout the entire animation. So now we finished that. Now we want to put in our animation. So we'll do self.move right, and we'll pass in our black 3. And then completion, we'll just do, remember I said that we're not going to do the finish this time. We'll just do self.move left and self.black 3. Right, so it's going to pop over to the left, but there's not going to be an animation, and we're not going to be checking if it's finished because it's only going to fire when it's finished. So let's go ahead and launch that, see what sexy things occur for us now. I don't know why I think animations are sexy. I don't know. All right, so notice the delay, and it moves over. So if I do it again, well, that one will disappear. See this one, and yeah, pretty interesting, right? All right, last but not least, we have UIView, and this is actually the fun one, which is super awesome that it comes right out of the box. UI kit makes everything very beautiful and easy for you, and that is this method, which gives you springs. Now springs are like when something isn't like you know how it comes to an end and it just stops or it eases back. Spring is like when you see those bouncy animations where something will pop up like that. I don't know. I hope that makes sense, guys. I'm sorry. I'm really bad at explaining stuff sometimes. Alright, so we're going to pass in our duration. You'll see what I mean. The duration, we have a delay already, so we'll use the same delay. Now, with the spring dampenings, they have to be floats, and you can really just play with this to see how you really want it. But the spring dampening is how it slows down, how quickly the animation slows down the whatever's being animated. And the spring velocity is how quickly it shoots into that spring state. Now you guys can play with this, but I already have a couple of values that I wanted to just throw in there because, you know, it seems to work pretty nicely. For the spring dampening, we're gonna go with 0.5, and the spring velocity we'll just go with 2. The options, we're just going to go with the linear options that we've had before, and then for animations we're gonna just do the same old stuff. Dot move right, and then self dot black 4, and then down here is essentially the same thing as before. Self dot move left, self dot black 4. Right? Let's get this up and running, and you'll be able to see the beauties of a spring. Now, the springs work better when you don't really have it's like you'll see when it moves over and it does the spring stuff, it's gonna look kind of cool, but then it's gonna shoot back left and it's gonna look kind of confusing. So see that? Yeah, so if I were to comment that out, it would look a little bit better because then it stays there, and you're gonna see that it goes a little bit farther than the screen, and then it kind of comes back, and then it eases back in. Now, how much oscillation that you want, that depends on the spring dampening. If you want a lot of oscillation, then you just bring the dampening all the way down to like a 0.1 or something like that, and it'll be a lot more springy. It'll go back and forth a couple more times. So, yeah. All right, so those are the basic animate functions for movement, and that's all you really need to know when animating things. Now we're gonna get into animating the different types of options that you can put for animations. And what we're gonna do is we're not gonna be using the spring because the spring kind of makes things look a little bit weird. You can always experiment yourself, but we're gonna be using this one, the minimum that allows us to have options in it. So let's go ahead and do that. So we'll do UIView dot animate, and we want the one with options but not the spring. Sometimes these get really close together. It's kind of hard to see. So make sure we don't want this physical spring one. We want just this one. Delay, options, and completion handler. Alright, so let duration equal, we'll keep doing the 2 seconds. I think 2 seconds works out pretty good. And 2.0 will automatically opt it to a double. So we'll put in our duration. The time interval, we'll just say 0. We don't, for the delay, we don't want any delays for these. And then for the options, what we'll do is we'll start off with the curved linear, which is doing things evenly throughout the animation, right? So let's go ahead and press enter on that so we could pass in our animation, and we'll do self-dot move right, and we're gonna say self dot at the top is red. So let me verify that. So we have red, blue, green, orange, purple. So we'll do it in that order. And do we want it to move back? Let's do nothing for right now. We'll do nil for right now for the completion, and then if I feel like it's necessary to show you guys it moving back, even though that you guys have seen it, then we can do that. Yeah, so you could pass nil for any of the completion handlers, obviously. But if you're going to pass nil, you pretty much just need this one if you're not passing in any options. So let's go ahead and animate red. So notice it's even throughout the entire way. It's not fast anywhere. It's not fast in the beginning. It's not fast at the end. It's not slow. No springiness, none of that. Alright, so red, just plain Jane animation. Let's do the same thing. And we'll just copy these because it's kind of a lot of typing for no changes for the most part. Alright, so we have red. Next we want to animate blue, right? So red, blue, green, orange. So we'll do blue right here. And for this one, we'll say curve. And we're going to do ease in. And you'll see that curve ease in starts off kind of slow. And then it comes back up to speed. So if we want to go ahead and run that and see what that looks like while it's building, I'm going to go ahead and copy this. Whoops. I'm going to go ahead and copy that. I'm going to paste it right here. And we're going to do ease out. And this one will be green. Right? So it won't animate this time, but I already have the simulator going. So now we'll see the red and blue, how they animate differently. Remember, that's ease in. Now they finish at the same time because the duration is supposed to be the same, right? So we want the animation to complete in over a total of 2 seconds. At 2 seconds, there should be no more animating. Everything should be done. So the ease in should finish at the same time, which it does, but it starts off a little bit slower, and it looks like it's moving a little bit faster towards the end. Now we're going to see the green. We're going to do the ease out. And let's go ahead and run that. And once again, while it's building, I can copy and paste and get ready for the next function that we're going to add in there. And that will be orange. If I know how to spell orange. And we'll get back to that. So now when we run the green, notice that everything should finish at the same time, which it does. But since it's easing out, it finishes slower. So now, since we do need the completion handler, what we'll do is I'm going to just steal this completion handler right here. And we could just paste it in right here. So we'll say rate that, and we'll put it in right here, and we'll be able to do the move left. This way we can watch each of these animations happen over and over again. So let's go ahead and do that. Yeah, I should have done this from the beginning so that I didn't have to go back and copy and paste, and hopefully I'm not confusing anybody. And this one right here. So we're just doing the same thing as up here. All the same, we're just having it move back left once it finishes the animation. This way we can go through several times. So for orange, what we're gonna do is, instead of easing out and easing in, what we're going to do is we're going to do auto reverse, which is a really common thing, which is what the black one does up here, which is what black 2 did. So it finished the animation. Black 2 finishes its animation, and then it goes all the way back to where it was. It pretty much reverses everything that it already did. So what we're going to do is, with orange, we're going to do that, but we're going to do it with the options. This way we don't have to put it in the completion handler, and we actually won't need the move left because it will be unnecessary. So let's go ahead and run that, and we'll see that orange, without this completion handler, will do exactly what everything else is doing, except it'll do it in an animated fashion. So let's do it. All right, look at that. And then bam. So now, once again, everything, all these three finish over here. Oh yeah, the move left, since it did auto reverse and I didn't keep the move left, it did pop over here. So maybe I shouldn't have uncommented it, right? But let's go ahead and watch it happen again. This one will disappear because it's gonna go right, but we could watch these ones. See, everything ends at the same time. All at the same time. Alright. Last but not least, we have purple. And the purple one is what I just want to show you guys is repeat. Now you can repeat these animations and keep them going forever until you try to trigger another animation on that. Try to trigger another animation on that specific view. Animate this one. So duration, once again, delay is 0. Options, we're going to do repeat. Animation, self.move right, self.purple, and then we're going to do underscore, we don't need that, self.move left, self.purple. Okay, so now this one will just keep repeating. It'll do the same thing over and over. And actually, this is where when you use repeat, the finish is actually completely unnecessary because it's just going to keep going. It doesn't need to go back to move left, like it's never being called. If I should have actually left it like that. Keep messing up. I messed up on orange, I had to add it back in. Messed up on purple, had to take it out. I make mistakes, I'm human too. Alright, so you'll notice that it'll automatically come back over here and it'll keep going. It'll keep going forever. As soon as you try to animate it again, what will happen is it'll stop. Well, it didn't stop. It started repeating from a different location. But when you have repeat on, what can usually happen is that your animation will stop. It just depends on how you do your animations. If you add a couple of more, which we're going to add in here, right here on the repeat, sometimes it will stop. But it didn't stop this time. But let's go ahead and see some of the different things that you can do with the animations. So we can do multiple we can do repeat, and we can do what else can we do? We can do, you know, the auto reverse, which we have right here. We could do like ease in. So let's just throw three of like those other two in there just so that we can see what it looks like. So like auto reverse, reverse. We could do curve ease in, and then we'll just close off that array. And that should work. Curve ease, curve. Oh, forgot the dot. Dot curve ease in. And we'll run that, and you'll see that it does behave a little bit differently. Should work, yeah. And there it goes. Yeah. So these options, you could have multiple and, you know, do all kinds of weird different animations by combining them and mixing them together. So watch. Notice how it kind of, it slows in, like it kind of slows down when it comes over here, and it slows to get over here, but over here in this area it's a lot faster. That's because it's easing in, and since it's doing the auto reverse, what's happening is it's just replaying essentially what happened before. So it's not going to ease in over here, but it's actually just redoing what already happened, and the repeat is what keeps it going back and forth. So I hope that makes sense, guys. Sorry, I was a little bit off on the way that I had explained it. The repeat does stop sometimes. It just depends on what type of what characteristic of the view that you're animating. When you're grabbing the center, the way that we are for the view.center.x, it seems to work properly where it could keep animating and will continue, but just be cautious on repeat, that it does tend to stop on depending on what characteristics of the view that you are animating. So just keep that in mind. Make sure that you do some testing before you put in something like repeat. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. I hope that makes sense. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. Leave, you know, any suggestions in the comments. And if you want the project, to see the full finished project, then you can go ahead and get it at that GitHub link that I had up earlier. Is it still right here? It's, yeah, this one right here. And yeah. Oh, you don't need to do the branches. I don't know why I had the branches in there. Just that. That's all you really need. Yeah. It'll be in the description too. All right, guys. Have a great rest of the day. And as always, make sure that you do code passionately.